want to talk Titan 1,
Yeah.
The Beale sites, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It's a story. I make no bones about it. I mean, imagine this. In 25, well, not 25, Christ, it's probably closer to 40 years, late 70s, early 80s, in military school. One of the new cadets that I was in charge of, okay? I'm going to be graduating. One of the new cadets that I have, his father worked on the 3 sites. Because I was taking his son, I would take everybody I knew that was in my unit to the sites if they wanted to go. Well, he decided to go with me. And lo and behold, he made the comment because he lived very near where I did in Southern California in Long Beach. And so, we just became friends. Well, anyway, he would tell me, he said, well, my dad worked for RCA during that period of time. So, I would kid him. I'd say, listen, when your mother and father come out, I want to talk to them, right? And so sure enough. And so he told me a lot between the Lincoln and what we call the Sutter Butte, which we call Live Oak. Yeah. Okay. And then, of course, the Chico site. Mm-hmm. So I got a whole different idea and that just started it. Now, we never got into the locations. Other than I just knew the little town they were near. I didn't know their exact location. In old days, how we would find sites, or at least how I did, I kid you not, if it was Monday through Friday in the county, and I was very near the county seat for those sites, I'd walk in and talk to the assessor's office, and we'd pull out the maps and things like that, and they'd show me, and everybody says, my God, you're crazy for doing this. So what I did is I went to the police station and I walked in and talked to the chief of police. Yeah. Okay, in the little town. And I told him who I am. I got nothing to hide. I'm just fascinated with these things. I have a website, and look it up if you want to, right? There's no lie to it. Would you like my ID? I have no wants or warrants. You know what I mean, right?
That's right.
And so they were always so very nice. He even offered to drive in front of me to the site to show me where it was at. I kid you not.
That's old school.
Oh, I know. And I just look back at some of that, and then when I found it, I was just, oh my gosh, I just wouldn't have. Number one is I didn't think in terms of old highway versus new highway, which is always, that's the first thing to look at. But now let's move back to the Beale sites. So here I am, right? I'm a senior, Christmas break, my graduating year, which would have been, I graduated in 85, but this was Christmas, so it was Christmas 84. I'm with my best friend that I went to military school with. Right? We're going to find the 3 Titan 1 sites at Beale. And in the old days, you had the assessor's office, you had the police station, and if all else fails, believe it or not, you could always, in the old days, walk into any bar or tavern. Okay? And I promise you, it always works. So here we both, the drive from Southern California up to, we were outside of Lincoln. And so we drive into the little town of Lincoln, right? Find the first local bar. It's dark. It's, 9 or 10 o'clock. And so, hey, let's find out where these sites are. So we walk in. Sure enough, we're sitting there drinking a beer and asking, and I'm asking the bartender. And come to find out, the guy sitting 3 seats over from us, he was a guard at one of the Titan 1 sites. And so he's like, and then another one of his friends that's there was on the salvage crew.
Damn.
So, Bryce, why I say this is in the early days, you could always go into any community that had missile bases around them, and I promise you, you would either be able to find somebody that built them, operated them, or salvaged them.
Right.
100% of the time. And that worked for years and years until now they're almost all gone. So unless they've heard the stories, I mean, that's the downside, of what's occurring today. And that's where I feel very sorry for a lot of them there. But we solved that because now we have the locations.
That's right.
We've got the other guys that have even gone so far as pinpointed them on Google Earth. I mean, come on, this is now an art.
Yeah, they got the coordinates.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, they got the coordinates now. You could put it in your phone and you can drive right to the place.
Oh, exactly. I mean, but there's a side of me that just loved the old days. So here the guys go. They said, listen, man, you got to go to the Lincoln site. And I said, well, where the hell's it at? Right? And of course, everybody at the bar, because I'm giving them something to talk about. Number one, it's late. You're half of them are 3 sheets to the wind. Right? So It's really, looking back on it, is the best time to get the stories, right? Because they'll tell you everything they do.
Absolutely.
And, he says, go down to this light, make a right, and go down there and then make another right, and go to the end, and you'll see where there's the maintenance area for the county, and then it sits right on the site. Well, of course, it was late, so we didn't have a room, so we just slept in the truck.
No quonset huts.
Yeah, I think the quonset huts were there at the Lincoln site. I'd have to go back to the photographs. I remember one of the buildings being there, but what could have happened, they tore down the quonset hut, and they built a new building on the old quonset hut. See, that was they did a lot of that, okay?
Well, ask you this, how about operational? How many quonset huts were on a Titan 1 site? I know Titan 2 had 3.
Exactly. See, I want to say for Titan 1 there was 2. I mean, but sometimes that differed. I mean, if you look at the Batum site, what they call it, another name for it in Washington would be the Odessa site.
That's right.
What was it? 568A.
That hot stuff.
Yeah, the Berries got.
Yeah.
My grandfather helped build that site. My uncle was a superintendent of not just Batum, but Warren and also Royal City. You could, it just depends. On Batum, there was a square pad on one of them. It was very interesting because it wasn't your standard quonset hut, which of course was a rectangle, right?
Right.
And because most all of the first generation quonset huts were 40 by 100. Okay. And this one's just different, and that building is still on it. Now, however, I'm not too sure that is an original building, which I doubt. So, I mean, that then brings into question what they chose to do. But, I just throw that out there. I'm not too sure. You'd have to go back to the operational or the present-day photographs for Lincoln and take a look and see if I want to say the first building was one of the original quonset hut pads just inside the gate. Now here's a funny one. I would be in there walking around, right? And of course, I'd lose all track of time. Well, when the guys got finished working like at 3:30 or 4 o'clock, they closed the damn gate and locked the gate with a combination lock, and here I'm stuck inside, right? And so I'm laughing at this, and